Thanks for staying with us. So joining us in the studio, we're trembling, is a legend of Nigeria's creative sector, one of the finest actors to come out of Africa, a national pride with sauce. He's astute producer, brilliant lawyer, also a former journalist. Give it up for the one and only Richard Mofe-Damijo, popularly known as RMD in the building.
But you did not say something.
Yeah.
Husband, father, and
Grandfather. How is our auntie, your wife? How is she doing, Jumobi?
She's well. She's well.
Good, our regards to her.
Yeah, she hasn't thrown my
things
my
yet. All right, so you can join the conversation on 02163520013, 09024163440. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to hear your views. So before you came on, sir, we were talking about fake life. You know, I think one of the ladies referred to you as you already have a name for yourself. A lot of people have to package themselves to get favors or to even show their ability or their content. So what are your own thoughts on this packaging thing? You know, it's fake life, but we call it packaging.
I think that what the problem is that people try to avoid process. You know, so when you avoid the process, So here's the danger, because I heard I can't remember who said, who was saying, I don't know if it was you. Yeah. So here's the danger. There are times when you circumvent process and you arrive at the right result, right? And that's like the real danger in fake life or in the world of social media. You said you packaged and then you got a job as HR because of of your packaging, but you had avoided the entire process of going to study, courses that will make you, that will equip you for that position. And then because you did packaging, you got the result, the actual result. Okay?
Inspired.
But it lasted this long. And that is what is the bane of all developing countries. And you can multiply that by whatever numbers you want. That is why we are stunted in our growth, because we avoid or we try to circumvent process. You can't, look, this is my 41st year post-graduation. I have worked for 41 years on the same lane, right? So if you wake up tomorrow and you are a 22-year-old boy and you say you want to be like RMD, how about the process? I went to University of Benin. I graduated on top of my class. After that, I worked for how many years? I went back to school, studied law, got 2 degrees, came back, served as commissioner, came back, and I'm working. I finished youth service in 1984. This is 2025. 41 years later, I am trying to hold it down. And then you want to be me overnight, it doesn't work. That is why you can fake it for a while, get the job, get the result, get the job or get the right result, but it will last you this long. They will find you out. So when people say, what's the secret to your longevity or to your to staying relevant, the secret is that you put in the work. You go through the process, and when you go through the process, then you can progress.
See,
if you don't, you regress.
This thing you just said is extremely powerful, because me, I'm already taking it on the national level. I've always said it on this table. And Nima is one person that I always try to make her understand my perspective on this. Or maybe she even agrees with me. That the problem we have in Africa is that we're trying so hard to build Western. We have failed to go through that process you said. But there's an argument that will say, why are we going through the process? We already know this is what this is what you need to do to build an economy. Have to do this, and you get the trajectory. We don't have to go through. So we're now faking this thing, and we're here. Failing. And we keep failing because let us go back to the basics. I always use that issue of is it sausages or whatever you always use? We are choosing ourselves to eat sausages. When we're eating bacon, when we should be taking our ogi gradually and go and find maize and produce our own material. Don't import sausage. Eventually, I'm just thinking of
No, but you're right. Can I give another example? Sometimes, when I'm watching like science and tech content, yes, or documentaries. The Oyinbo people, they would have invented something, and we are excited about what they have invented. But when you hear the story, it was because, my father used to chop wood, and one day while he was chopping wood, something fell, and now realized, no, I can fix it this way. The next generation now works on it and fix it. So that's a process. So when we finally see, what we've seen is a new machine that has been created, but we don't realize that it's been built over the years based on their real life, their realities. So we take this and we bring it home. And our realities are different. And we're wondering why it's not working. So for us, until we are able to work, the process as well, then we're able to create, like people always say, we've been pounding yam the same way for many years. Won't we get something? Because we have a world where we can just go and take a finished product and come here instead of working on our own process to get ours.
I want to come to you though, because it sounds really interesting when you say it, but your world is your entertainment industry is very superficial. And, everybody is shaping up and they're getting roles when they shape up and arrange themselves.
I don't know about that. There are levels to this thing, right? Yes. So if you shape up to get certain roles, you are going to be stuck in those roles for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
I don't know about shaping up to get roles. You can shape up to get certain roles, all right? But why don't you just do it the hard way? Or why don't you go as you are and then let the makeup people put the things on you that you need to look like? If I need to play a 45-year-old, I would need to lose some weight, color my beard black.
Which I've seen you do.
Yes, which I do. I'd color my beard black and all that, wear an earring or something. Just to,
There's
there's a way we'll do it. I can pierce tomorrow. So the point is, our industry can be superficial, yes, because there are entrants, but there are also levels at it. If you want to take your craft seriously, shaping up is not going to be part of what becomes the most important thing.
We don't agree necessarily, but
ask a question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here. I will answer you.
Yeah, I like the process thing you talked about.
Yes.
Which is what we're trying to teach many young people who just want to jump the gun, right? They believe that if you had to do it for 20-something years, 30-something years is not my destiny. So my own portion is to do it for 1 year and 6 months and I am good. Now, my question is, what is considered true process? What time frame would you give true process? Or does everybody have their process according to their particular blueprint?
Of course. I mean, there's no time, it's not the same timing for everybody.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to understand AI today, for instance, it's a much shorter route. Okay. But you have to have the basic knowledge of logic and all of that. You have to have some form of, education, so that when you now start to study AI and how to deploy it, it becomes easier. If you want to, the reason why tech is the way it is today is that those who are teaching it have found a way to circumvent, to go direct. Let me give you an example. If you go to, say, my village, and you want to teach kids in my village about AI, and they don't speak English, if you get a robot teacher who understands AI and teach them in a robot, they will get it.
Yeah.
Okay? So we have that disadvantage of having to learn English first before we learn every other thing. But the world has moved on to the point where you can now look for people that understand their language, and then you teach them directly, and then they can apply. If you want to be a lawyer, there is a recommended time frame for it, right? In America, it's even different. You cannot leave from high school to go and study law. They would need you to, medicine, for instance. You need to study your first degree before you go study medicine, right? So that you can't, the process is so regulated that you cannot.
You cannot
jump it. Otherwise, by the time somebody is lying on your table as a doctor, as a patient, and you are the doctor, you are going to kill the person. And that is what is happening in places where it is not regulated, and where the process is bypassed by people who can
package their way
through by buying exams and all of that, because it will catch up with you.
Yeah.
How do you not regulate an engineer who is going to certify a plane to fly every day?
Oh.
How do you not regulate a guy who is going to operate on human beings? You know, how do you not regulate a driver who is going to drive public transport every day?
Even a construction company who's going to build your company. I'm going to give BC a contract, but I didn't care about her competence. Let me give it to her. She's not also checking to be sure that the person that she's even giving is technically competent to do the job. Let me let you jump in.
Yes, I was just going to say, right, I was listening to an American actor, and he was talking about working actors and celebrity. And sometimes for us, because we're looking at the results, we think, because we're looking at success a certain way, we think that is how, that is the peak.
As a full picture.
Yes, there's some actors who are not celebrities, but they are accomplished and they're happy where they are.
Absolutely.
They know that there's no room that they will enter that they will not get the respect. But there's somebody who has done themselves to look a certain way, and they go to places and they have the fans and followers excited about them. But when they walk into the places like where they need to get acting jobs, they're just like any one of us. So the thing is, how do we see success? What is success to us? So if it's for you to just be a celebrity, there are many ways you can circumvent it to get there. And that's why I think the Kardashians have always caught a lot of flack, is that they came at a time where they were being celebrated for, people said, for doing nothing. It was a time where we celebrated people because this was a doctor, or we used to celebrate Oprah because many years in the talk show business. But we have these people who have figured out a way to package themselves to be celebrities, to be adored and adulated, you know, all those sort of things. But that is why I feel now we should have this conversation, because it's become dangerous now that people are falling for the scammers and making big mistakes because we are unable to differentiate packaging from content. Yeah.
It's so true. Nicely said.
Because so this is quite deep. Because, you know, what led to this RMD is a social media post. Somebody was saying that they had to go and hire a foreigner to get a job and hire a car. So you come to Abuja with a regular car, you now go and get Prado, the proper Prado for that meeting, and get a white person to follow you.
People believe in sight and sound.
Do you think it's wrong to do that, though? Like, you have the content, but you know that if you go to the ministry without the pump,
you won't get a contract.
You might not get the contract, but you know you can deliver. So you
absolutely. It's you have to be able to do some form of window dressing. You have to. There's nothing. Look, I can always speak from my experience, right? So I've always prided myself as an actor, right? When I went into magazine, you know, when I went into journalism and I became a publisher, I realized that I needed to dress differently from how I used to dress as an actor. And I looked the part. I started wearing suits and ties and everything. And because if I need to walk into a boardroom and all of that, I needed to look a certain way. And I started doing that. And I remember that I was going to be, I had a meeting, Insights Communication wanted me to be a brand ambassador for a particular drink. And that day, I was supposed to, they said we were going to see the MD of the brewery. And I dressed up in my three-piece suit, and I had my Mont Blanc pen and everything. And we got to the meeting, and they just introduced me, you know, like, you know, this is Richard Mofe-Damijo, but he didn't say who I was other than that. So we sat down, and the MD kept looking at, the white guy kept looking at my suit. I said, oh, nice suit. I said, thank you. And he said, nice pen. I said, can I see it? I said, yeah, sure. And I brought my pen, and it was the big Mont Blanc, with the blunt ink, you know. So I gave him, and he was trying, so I said, excuse me. So I took it, and I
showed him how to show it.
So he was like, oh, this is really, really nice. I said, thank you. So I think it was Jibia Oshika that now said to him, "Oh, this is the guy that is going to be the brand ambassador." You know. So he said, "Give him the money." He said, "Do you see his pain?" You know.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. So the thing is, it is because I also know I have
content. Yeah.
And I need to make him comfortable. The reason why they used to tell bankers to dress and tie and all that is for people, is for confidence. There's a way they used to tell doctors to dress. You know, have the lab coat on, have the, you know, it's for confidence. It's to help you, you know, be able to relate. If you walk into a place where everybody's wearing a suit, and you go in there looking scruffy, you are disregarding a tradition.
Aye.
All right? So I was coming here today, and I said to my girl, "How should I dress?" And I said, "Old." I said, "Old or young?" And she said, "Middle."
Middle, yeah. Since we're middle-aged.
She said, "Middle." So I wore Ashoke, and I wore this, and she said, "No, break it." Then I wore a Peaky Blinders.
Read the room.
So you must read the room.
Let me take this caller. Chidera's in holding very well. Good morning, Chidera. I just couldn't stop already. Go ahead, Chidera. Are you still there?
Join him.
Hello, Chidera. Are you there? I think I lost that call.
Yeah, so for me now, what I hear is, and it still boils down to what we have all tried to say, is that we must work our content.
Of course.
We must, whichever industry you find yourself, you must be grounded in that industry. So the packaging is like the icing on the cake, which is the extra, but you must have that content. And that's why we need to also teach our younger ones that, okay, you want to go into this industry. What are you going in there for?
That's right.
What's the game plan you have for yourself? 5 years game plan. What's your 10-year goal? What's your 20-year goal if you're still going to be in this industry? Now, how do you grow into that? How do you keep upgrading yourself? How do you keep updating yourself? There was something I told myself. I said, every time I send you my profile, it has to add another page by the next year. So I had sent somebody profile recently and it was 2 pages. By the time I was sending another one, it was like, let me use that one. I said, no, it's updated. I have new things that we're adding to it. So if we can sort out the content, I want to believe that people who employ people are not fools. They actually know what they're looking for. It's just that
they can be hoodwinked.
Yeah, they can be hoodwinked.
Absolutely, you can.
They can be hoodwinked, but I think at a level, they're not really hoodwinked. They've sized you up.
Nigeria.
They've researched you. They can trace what you have done and where you're coming from. It's just these new people, when you're just starting, you're looking for people that real people can tell when you have something to offer. But when you now add that icing on the cake, it gives you a level playing field. I always tell
people in my mind that you judge me at your own peril. I'm not going to go dressing up like, you know, how to be impressing anybody. I'm going to be myself. And I get that, and I'm very late to the party.
So again, it becomes a definition of what is yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Being yourself, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Being myself is not something, is not what you probably take as trendy. I'm just myself.
Yeah, but you are not going to disregard being different.
So, let me give an example.
Looking good.
Just this week, I was telling my friends here that for the very first time in my life, I bought gold. I got calls. I said, yes. Well, usually all the gold I have in my life, my mother has supplying me. But I use my own personal money for the first time. I bought this, and I'm so proud of it.
Yes.
Now, I have never been pressured because I have friends wearing gold to wear gold because I want to package. I enter certain places, and I might not be wearing gold, but I know everybody around me is looking very rich and wealthy. I'm not intimidated because I am myself. So people see me and they might judge me. Her, please put her this way because they've judged me. But I'm fine. You can't judge me. It's okay. But you do that at your own peril because I can actually give you value and a serious value. So that's where I'm saying that there's got to be a middle line where being me should be respected regardless of how it makes you feel.
That's why I said it depends on what being you means. Because somebody can look and you are not wearing gold, but they will look at your hair or look at your glasses or look at your watch and they see it. You know how they say, oh, look at Mark Zuckerberg. He doesn't wear suit. He doesn't wear
t-shirt.
No, apart from that, he flies a private jet.
Thank you.
He doesn't wait in line like
regular people.
He's not entering the same place.
There are things that he does not. Yes, he does not wear the 250,000 and necklace and all that. But there are things that he would not joke with. That he probably eats Wagyu beef that is costing him $250 for a meal.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.